Bring us in, babe.
Welcome to
Coco
Caliente.
You guys are in for a special treat today because it is just Nicole and I. And these episodes, yes, it is a cause for celebration because these episodes are few and far between. I mean, it used to be all the time, but now we have guests all the time, which is good because, people learn different stuff. But today we thought it would just be us two. And I wanted to start a little bit different, right? I wanted to start with some happy news, right? Because in these weird and strange and, uncertain and unsettling times, it's also good to hear some positivity, right? So I had read in the news that this part isn't positive. I had read in the news that the farmers in the Midwest and in the South, dairy farmers, were having a hard time because there's such a big surplus and a huge supply of milk and dairy because restaurants and other schools and stuff like that, like the big buyers of it, aren't buying it as much. So that means their price is going really low, right, for it to be bought to the point where they're losing money. They have to give it away or not give it away, but they still have to milk the cows, right, because, they have all this milk. So I just saw Kroger decided to donate 200,000 gallons of milk.
Oh, wow.
So they're buying it to donate it.
Oh, wow.
Right, which helps everybody. You know what I mean? So I thought that was worth saying, right? And
definitely.
We've shopped at Kroger a lot. So I don't know. I just thought that was really cool because that's like the heart of America, right? The farmers, dairy farmers. We have a lot of farmers around here too.
Especially like the small dairy farmers, I think. It's hard for me to feel bad for any like big...
industrial farmer or something like that?
Yeah, I don't agree with what they do at all with the cows and things like that. So I just think maybe leave the cows alone.
I get what you're saying.
Just because that's basically women breastfeeding over and over and over their whole entire life. Cows' milk's only produced for their calves, but us humans milk them for their whole entire lives. And it's kind of wrong. Yeah,
there's a whole nother topic that we can go down that path.
Yeah, I don't know what Victor's running the podcast today, so I have no idea what's coming up. So this is just my first thought on that is, I feel bad, but...
Well, on the flip side, I think of all the people's livelihoods, right? That's how they make their money and they have families and kids and stuff.
Yeah, there are people who treat their cows really, really well. And they're small farmers, and I absolutely hope those are the ones that are getting the milk purchased from them, not the big industry ones, that it's a drop in the bucket to them. Absolutely.
So that's some happy news. Now, what I want to do today, I don't know if you guys remember, a little bit ago when Nicole ran the podcast, she turned and focused it on me.
Oh, God, I don't want to talk about myself today.
I'm going to turn and focus this on her. I'm going to get to know Nicole on a deeper level. And she obviously loves animals.
Yeah, I do.
So we learned that right off the bat. And I've known that the entire time I've been with her. But so we're going to learn today together about Nicole.
Hey, I warned you when it was about you because I thought I could just sit here and listen to your facts and your stories. And
now we're going to talk and we're going to listen to you and we're going to have a conversation, right? So what first I want to know, right? So you've been living in Ubly your whole life.
Yes.
Right? Where were you born? What town were you born in?
Bad Axe.
So you were born in Bad Axe, which is 20 minutes, 15 minutes from here. And you were born on?
June 30th, 1992.
Yes, which means your birthday's coming up here soon.
It is.
And you've lived in the same house your whole life.
Yes.
Which is mind-blowing to me because I never had that experience. Right. So you've lived in the same house your whole life. Your parents have been in that house.
Well, until I moved here.
Until here, yeah.
I moved a half a mile away,
Yeah, that's crazy. And your parents have been living in that house about how long?
Oh, they bought that house after they got married, so 30 years.
30 years. Wow. Okay. So that's really country, small town living, right? That is bizarre. So you've been living in Ubly your whole life. You grew up here. What was your first job ever?
My first job ever was babysitting.
Oh, you were a babysitter.
Yeah, I was. I hated it. I don't know why. I just hated it. I think it was because it wasn't like babies. It was like kids
like
that
5
would
and
torture
6-year-olds, or
yeah, and they would just like torture me. I mean, I remember this one time I was babysitting for this brother and sister. I spent my whole entire summer babysitting for this family, and like the son would chase me around with knives.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty terrible, but like it was to the point.
You spanked that kid.
Because it was just like he wasn't scared of me, and I'm little. I'm 5'1", full grown. So imagine back then, and this kid's probably as tall as me. And he just wasn't threatened by me, and I'm a pushover. And I mean, I spent the whole summer with them, so it was kind of like I wasn't like scared for my life, but it was annoying.
Yeah.
And I hated babysitting because of that. Now that I've grown older, yeah, I would love to babysit now. I babysit my friends' kids, but it was so different when you're like 12 and you're just trying to make it like 50 cents an hour or something. I don't know.
Is that what it was?
Honestly, I spent my whole summer there and I never got paid.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she totally,
my gosh.
She totally just never paid me. And I went back, she's supposed to pay me weekly, and then, oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about it. I was so upset because I hated it so much and I worked hard at it.
And you spent, how many hours a day would you say you spent babysitting?
Probably like, it was like a 9 to 5.
Oh my gosh.
I could
and
walk
you did not
there.
get paid.
It was, right. Yeah, no. I did.
You should go knock on her house like this week today. You should knock on her and then charge her interest.
All summer I probably made like $300, but that was a lot.
Well, you should do $300 times about 5-6% interest over the last like 10-15 years.
Yeah,
however long it's been. Oh my God, 10 years.
I forgot about it, but yeah, that was my first job. My first real job was.
Wait, time out before you go. Was there like, I know in some places they have like a babysitters like coalition, like there's a bunch of babysitters in the area, and then it's like you're fighting for the jobs. Where
definitely not for me.
No, you were just the one.
No, I was just the one, and that was it. Well, there was others, I'm sure, and I babysat for some people who paid awesome.
Yeah.
And it would be like $20 an hour.
Oh, wow.
And I was like loving that, but
you know what?
I did it for the money. I'm not going to lie. I didn't love like chasing the kids around.
I would hate it. I
was very worried like every time they ate. I was worried someone was going to get hurt.
I have a hard time as it is watching other people's kids when they're there with us. You know what I mean? Like I have fun with kids for about 5 minutes and then I'm like, all right, where's your adult? You know, like my nieces and nephews. Yeah, that's fine. When we have our own kids, no problem. But somebody else's kids, I'm like, all right, this was cool. Now where is said adult?
It was just like the age of me at that time of being so young and trying to care for kids. It was weird. So yeah, now, like I said, it's very different. I love to take care of babies, and it's different.
What's crazy is, and I don't know if we had this conversation before or not, but babysitting. So how much is daycare here?
Daycare is about $3 to $3.50 for your first kid an hour. And then if you bring another kid, it's like $2 an hour. So if you have 2 kids, it's only $5.50 an hour.
You guys hear that? It's $5.50 an hour for daycare.
There's not a lot of options here. They're all absolutely full, and they're out of people's homes.
Obviously it's absolutely full. Like I think I was looking in the city, and it's like. It's almost like a house payment or a car payment a month. Like it's insane. And over here, it's like, $5. I mean, if you bring one, it's $3.50. For 2, you get a discount. It's $5. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
that is bizarre. Okay, so you upgrade from babysitting and you go to
Subway.
So
in my town, there is only a Subway.
When did Subway move into Ubly?
It's been there for as long as I remember.
Oh, okay. So it was there before you were working there.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's connected to a gas station. I turned 16, and I remember this. I showed up for the interview, and they still, to this day, I will see the boss around town. And she's like, you were the most professional 16-year-old I had ever seen. I showed up in dress clothes for my Subway interview.
There you go.
I took it very seriously. I mean, now she said people just like
jeans and a raggedy shirt.
Always. She's like, you are the most put together person.
Did you? So because you were applying at that time for
I took it serious.
No, what's the actual term?
Oh, a sandwich artist.
Sandwich artist. I mean, that sounds very prestigious.
Yeah, I really wanted the job apparently, so I got it. And I was very strict. Like I was very good with wearing my visor, my apron, my name tag. I mean, now if you go into a Subway, it's kind of like. They're not wearing any of that stuff.
It's not uniform, which is what it's supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to be in the same kind of outfit.
Yeah, I wore khakis every day.
Yeah.
Now I see like black leggings. And I mean, things have just changed so much. It's just crazy. Just in Subway. Like my boss was really cool too, and she was really put together.
Yeah.
I mean, our Subway was run really, really well. It was clean. And like it's a awesome Subway you'd want to go to.
Were the vegetables always fresh?
Yes. And like... Yeah, things have changed. That's all I'm going to say.
I like Subway. That's one of the few places, and this is not a Subway ad. It's not like insert ad here for Subway, but I do enjoy Subway. I mean, we don't eat it all the time, but when I do, it's like I'm never disappointed. Unless I go somewhere where they suck at making the sandwiches. And then it's a I
think like making my own sandwiches for so long, I was able to create like combinations that don't exist on the menu.
Like what? Tell me one of the things that you...
That's when I ate meat, so I feel guilty about it. But I love loved past tense turkey and salami. That combo is really good, like melted.
And I've never seen that on their menu.
No, it's not. That was probably like my favorite go-to. Honestly, tuna and salami is really good together too. You just get bored.
Anything with salami is good.
No, I would just try weird combinations because I didn't really like a lot of the ones that they'd put. I was like very healthy, and I was trying to come up with like healthier options than just turkey or just let's be honest, veggie subs at Subway suck.
Yeah,
they absolutely suck. Like here, they don't even have veggie patties or a veggie option, so you eat shredded iceberg lettuce with what?
Tomato, cilantro.
I don't like tomatoes.
They don't even have
like
cilantro
onion. There. Yeah, so it was it was kind of impossible to enjoy a meal there.
When you work there, do you get like one free sub a day? And is it only 6 inch or foot long?
You used to get a free 6 inch, and then when the new bosses came in, like it was no more. You had to purchase your food.
No way.
Yeah.
You work at a food place and you have to purchase your own?
Yeah, people were like taking advantage of it or something, and I don't know. It got to be weird.
The only fast food place I've ever worked at was Chick-fil-A. And I remember we got one free meal, and it could be whatever you wanted. So
that's cool.
I went overboard. I would get a chicken sandwich, also a 12-piece nugget, and also like something else. And I remember one time I did that so many times that the boss was like, all right, so if you can just maybe like pick one, like, and then you can get the sides, right? Like you can get fries and a drink or whatever, but like one, right? Not the sandwich with the nuggets, with the tenders, right? That's what I would do. I'd get all three of those.
Victor. And
they'd be like, oh my gosh, he's going to run us dry.
Yep.
That's when I was also the Chick-fil-A mascot, the cow. So, I mean, I was kind of a big deal over there.
That's so funny. And at Subway, I only worked 2 days a week because I was in all the I was in sports. So I worked like Saturday and Sunday.
So what sports did you play in high school?
I played basketball. I played volleyball. I ran track for my freshman year. And then softballs at the same time. So I played softball all 4 years. And I was a cheerleader my senior year.
Wow.
Which cheerleading is not like it is like in the movies for us. Okay. It's very small. And like it's just more for a social event. It's hilarious. And then what else? Is there anything else? We didn't have soccer or tennis.
What sport were you good at?
What sport wasn't I good at?
Oh, okay.
No, honestly, I was pretty good in basketball. I broke records in basketball, volleyball, and then for softball, I was voted like the best center fielder in the district or regionals and regional area. Yeah.
Look at this. Man, anytime I beat you in anything, then I should be like, wow, I'm beating a
you're like the first guy I dated that can beat me in pretty much everything. They were always really frustrated with me, and it was like opposite.
Really?
Yeah, no. Seriously, I'm not joking.
I can't even picture that.
Like I would even beat them in darts and stuff.
Really? We got to get a dartboard and try that one out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing that in school. So at what point, because I know you love animals, right? I'm going to pretend like I don't even know you. Okay. So at what point Paris and Beyonce come into the picture? So for anybody listening, Paris and Beyonce are Nicole's dogs. They're sisters. And yeah, what's the story behind them?
Well, I had my dog, a Pomeranian, Candy, for 16 years. I didn't have her for 16 years, so I'll start there. My grandma had her for 8 years.
Okay.
My grandma went on a trip. Candy came over for that week, and Candy didn't want to leave me. So I got Candy for 8 years. I think we took her back to Grandma's house, and she was just depressed.
Yeah.
And so Grandma's like, you can have her. And so then we were really close, and I remember we were both she was 16 when she died, and I was 16. We were the exact same age.
Aww.
And I was actually coaching at a basketball camp, and I was so devastated about that. Oh my gosh, it was the saddest thing in my life. Like, I could still cry thinking about it.
So that was your junior year in high school?
No, 16 was my junior year. Okay. So then we got these two. My brother's friend, actually, their dog had puppies. And so we just went over to see them, and we took 2 of them home, and we brought them both back, and we're just like...
Were you... Okay, so when you went to take those dogs, did you plan on keeping them? What was the conversation like?
I think we wanted them.
Wanted them or wanted one?
Wanted one.
Okay.
We wanted a puppy, I think. I can't really even remember what's so crazy about that. That was my senior year, and so I think I was just really had a lot going on, and I think it was time to maybe get another dog. We always had a big dog outside still, and we were just used to having a house dog. Were you
guys trying to decide which one of the 2 you were going to take home? Was that the thing? Is that why you...
Yeah, okay, so we show up, and I see the runt, which is now Paris.
Yeah, she's the smaller of the two.
She's tiny. There's like 7 or 8 of them, and she's tiny, and she's blonde, and she's so cute, and she wants nothing to do with me. And I was like, I want that one. And then Beyonce was... like coming to my mom every 2 seconds, like coming by her feet. My mom she looks like all the other ones. She's darker and she's bigger. And she's like, my mom puts her with the other ones, and she comes and finds my mom again. And my mom's like, oh my God, I feel like I need to take this one. Yeah. And I was like, well, I like this one. And they're like, okay, let's go see what my dad and my brother like. And so then we get home, and it's like, oh my God, we can't just pick one. So we get neither.
And your dad didn't want any at all.
No, yeah. So they're like, neither. We're getting neither. And so I remember I was sad, but I understood. Like, I also didn't want to just pick one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's just get rid of them. And I was sad, but we showed up, and then his mom was just like, no, just take both of them. Take both of them for the price of one.
2 for 1 discount just today, because they're like, I don't know what we're going to do with them. They knew we weren't
coming back. And so we did, and this is how 11 years later.
11 years later. Yeah, Paris and Beyonce, they're a funny bunch. The bigger one takes care of the smaller one sometimes, right? She'll clean her eyes and everything. And we say bigger,
she's 9 pounds and one's 7 pounds, so they're not like big.
But when you look at them standing side by side,
you can see the 2 pound
difference. A very visual difference between them. I think it's also just like bigger bones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Beyonce can be a bully sometimes, and she'll steal Paris's food. Beyonce's definitely the more aggressive of the two. But
yeah,
I don't know.
They have very different personalities for being raised the same. They're complete opposite, so it's weird to me, except for their mannerisms. I mean, they yawn at the same time. They freaking move their head at the same time. They walk the same. But personality-wise, completely different. So I see how raising children, you're like, how is one like so moody and one so cuddly, and you know? So
do you see them as pets, or do you see them as like your sisters or animals, or how do you picture? Because you do. I'm just saying, based on the way you treat them and respond to them, how do you visualize them in your head?
I mean, I know that they're dogs. I mean, I guess I don't know how to really answer that. They are very high. I pray for them every night.
Yeah.
They're very high on my
priorities list.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like, I tell them how cute they are every day. I give them lots of kisses. I cuddle them. I make sure they're comfortable. If they're sick, I notice in like 5 seconds if they're acting weird. I guess at this age of being 27, almost 28 years old, they're kind of like my kids. But they were my sisters for how long, and now they kind of feel like my kids because now we took them in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd do anything for him. I think that, I already dread the day that something happens to one of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Nicole's funny because we'll be having a good time. The dogs will just be knocked out sleeping. And then Nicole's like, is she breathing? Hey, dog. You know, I don't want to say their names right now, but she'll keep saying their names and they'll pop up like, what do you want? And she's like, okay, they're fine.
I do wake up in the middle of the night and I check on them. It's kind of crazy. But they're so little and they love to be like under the blankets and all my weight on them. And so I just like don't want to suffocate them.
That's fair.
I don't know. I'm an animal lover. I'm very attached even to my cat outside. I get very worried if he's not there, or I think that it's kind of dangerous for me to have animals in some type of way because I'm so attached. It kind of takes over my life, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, if I had like 50 animals, I'm not sure
how that would.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And then once I have kids, I do believe, because you know who told me this was Brittany Godwin. She was very attached to her dog too. Like, oh my God, it was her kid. Then when she had kids, it was kind of like.
That relationship changed a little bit.
It changed, kind of like move over. I still love you, but these are
priority,
obviously
absolutely.
My kids are my priorities. But then when she just lost that dog, she's like, she still felt just as sad. I think as if, they're like your kids. I don't know.
And there's all that history there too. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's natural. I feel. Just like we were talking about happiness, we want you to be able to access your happiness. And a way to do that is by using BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a way for you to talk to somebody, not just to get self-help, but it's professional counseling. You can message your counselor anytime. You'll get timely and thoughtful response. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. And you can do this all without ever having to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. You can do this at home at your time. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need. It's more affordable than traditional online counseling, and financial aid is available. This service is available for clients worldwide. They have licensed professional counselors who are specialized in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, LGBT matters, grief, and everything in between. Anything you share is confidential. It's very convenient, professional, and affordable. And if you don't believe us, you can check out their testimonials that are posted online daily. And just to be clear, this is not a crisis hotline. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/Coco. Join over 800,000 people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Coco. So what are your animals? I know you want animals. So what's your goal? What's your goal for kids? What's your goal for for the future, for like a house or a farm or what? What's that? What's that look like? Paint a picture for me.
Okay, so my plan is to get married to you. And then we can probably live in this house, I'd say, for a couple more years. This house is great. I love this house. It's comfortable.
And it's our first home.
It's full, but we can definitely probably fit a child here.
Absolutely.
So to get married, to try to start having kids right away, get pregnant, we have a baby, we start looking for, maybe some land that has like an older farmhouse on it, fix it up for a couple years, put money into it. Hopefully pregnant again, sell this house, move over to that house. Okay, now we have 2 kids, and we are starting to collect some animals, hobby farm, like chickens for sure. I think that'd be great, like little chicks. I've always wanted little chicks, grow them into chickens. I don't know if we're quite ready for a horse yet, just because that's a lot of work. Maybe you are.
I want a horse.
You'll have a horse right away. I'm going to be focused on the kid, now pregnant with my 3rd child.
I'll probably get you a donkey or a pony.
I'm cool with pigs. I'm cool with really anything. Goats.
I'll tell you what's on my short list of animals that I want to get. For sure, I want to get either a pony or a donkey. Okay. Probably a donkey, because I heard donkeys are good alarm animals.
Yeah, they are.
Some chickens, maybe a goat, a horse for sure.
Yeah.
Pigs. Meh.
I mean, why not? Why not?
I'm kind of on the fence about a pig.
We can have a pig.
Maybe just like one big pig, just one big one, and because they eat a lot.
Pigs are really smart.
Yeah, but they eat a lot. And then we'll definitely need, if we have all that, we'll need an outside dog.
Oh yeah, we'll have lots of dogs and cats.
we can have one specific outside dog.
Okay.
And I mean that's kind of what I see. But yeah, a hobby farm. We don't.
And honestly, a cow too. I'd love to have a nice cow.
Yeah, a cow for sure. For us,
and I imagine like Cinderella, like them all swarming me and following me, and like birds sitting on my shoulder,
putting your clothes on, sewing your dress together.
I imagine to have like the tightest bonds with these animals. I'm not joking either. Like, I get that it can be messy and dirty and hard, but I do know that these animals will fall in love with me.
And they'll have a great life.
Yes.
They'll have a great life. That's I think that's what's the most important about that. Because I look forward to the day where I wake up in the morning to go, feed the animals, make sure everything's taken care of, fix some of the chicken wire in a fence or something, go ride the horse out across the property or wherever. You know what I mean? Like that, I would love that.
Yeah, my dream is just to live on 10 to 20 acres, have animals, hang my clothes on the line, have my animals all running around, my kids loving growing up with these animals, having chores, and, like having 4 kids would be great.
And what's crazy is a lot of people...
Oh, and also having a really good organic garden.
Oh, yeah. Where we live, this is possible on you still won't break the bank and you can still do this. That's what's cool about it, right? If we lived in the city, that'd be a whole nother, you'd be hard pressed to find enough space to do that. People think 20 acres, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, you can get
what I mean? Yeah. So that it's definitely possible for us. And I'm excited for that because that's what I want to happen too.
That's what I'm saving for.
Absolutely.
It's all I talk about. It's all I think about. I mean, the other day, 2 days ago, I woke up in the camper. I was like, Vic, guess what I dreamt about? I was like, I rescued a tiger, a monkey, and little chicks. Like, I just it's so random, but I rescued them from these zookeeper people.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really, this quarantine has made me really realize what my heart desires, and that's just a simple life on a farm.
Yeah, and I think it's very possible. It'll be a lot of fun, and when you have something like that, you also get, there in the process, you get a bunch of toys too. You need a 4-wheeler or a Ranger or stuff like that. But that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. That's in our future. We'll see how it plays out. So Nicole, a little bit more about you.
Okay.
What type of music do you like?
What do I like? What is it called? So my station that I like on Spotify is called. What is it called? Chill
Hits or Chill as Folk?
I like Chill Hits, but it's I could look at it right now.
But what type of music is in there?
I don't know.
I mean, it won't tell you what type of music is in there when you look at it.
I'm just going to tell the people so that way. Wild and Free.
Okay. So it's a Spotify playlist called Wild and Free that's put together by Spotify. And they, on their playlist, they normally...
It's like chill.
They update the playlist every, I don't know how often, so that they take songs off, they put songs on. But what type of music do you normally... What's on... I mean,
I like country, I guess. I used to really like country a lot more, and now... I've geared more towards this. So it's more, I like songs that have a lot of meaning, that are slower. If I can understand what you're saying, I don't like it. Like if it's too fast, if it's too high, or I'm very picky about my music. And I don't know what the actual...
Well, these are like indie songs. I would say they're indie songs. I'd say they're like, they have a... I mean, it's like a mixture between like folk country and like pop-ish. You know what I mean? It's like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the best way.
Yeah, like hits
alternative. It's like alternative music.
And honestly, like hits radio don't do it for me anymore.
No,
at all.
No. So, I mean, every once in a while, one song on there will catch my ear, but
yeah, I just am I like good music. I like heartful music that's written really well. I don't like this stuff that's like repeated over and over and that's catchy. I don't like rap. Like. That's what I like, whatever I just said.
Can you dance?
That's something else I did. I wasn't dance since I've been 3 years old until I was, I think, 11th grade. I couldn't do it 12th grade because of all the sports.
What type of dance? Like when you say dance, what would you guys do?
I was in pop. Okay. I know I can't really dance now because I don't come up with these moves. I can dance, but it was choreographed dance.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was pretty good. I made kick line, I made opening, and I made closing.
What does that mean?
So you had to try out for It's called kick line, and so if you made kick line, that means you're like the best dancers in the studio.
When I think kick line, I think bum bum bum.
Yeah, so we do end with something like that where our legs are all up.
Okay.
Yeah. So you end in kick line, but you open the show with not a kick line, but with the same group. And yeah, there's tryouts held for that. And I mean, I won some awards and stuff. So when I can actually. When I feel confident and I know, like, okay, this is the move I'm supposed to be doing, not like freestyle is never my thing. If I had to freestyle, I would never make it in any dance class. But if we sat there and you choreographed a dance, I would give you what I got, and it's pretty good. So, I mean, I'm not a terrible dancer. Am I a terrible freestyler? Absolutely, because I'm timid. But I was like the girl in the dance, so, you know, everyone would come watch the recitals, and they'd be like, oh my God, did you see Nicole? Like, I gave sass, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could see the videos.
My mom probably has some.
Well, we got to bust those out.
Now I would just watch them and be like, oh my God, it's terrible. But I definitely wasn't like, I wasn't bad.
So can you bust a move on the dance floor now? Like right now? Like if you went to a party or something like that?
Well, no, I just like dance. You know how I dance? I just dance very like sway. I dance to the beat, bob my head. Like
we're both bobbing our heads right now.
I love to dance, but I can't do... Like, you know how they come up with the crazy moves that just like, everyone's like, whoa. Yeah. That's definitely never going to be me. No matter how much training I've had.
So can you Spanish dance?
No.
You can Spanish dance a little bit.
Not really, Vic.
You can do...
I've tried.
So she can...
It's very different.
Everybody can merengue, which is the side to side. It's pretty much side to side. Salsa... She's getting good at or better at.
I have a very hard time just moving my hips and not moving my upper body.
Yeah,
because that's not like how I was taught to dance.
Well, okay, so for us, if you're able to get the hips down, then the top of your body will come with it. You know what I mean? But getting the hips down first, because when people try to dance Spanish music and they just try to focus on their feet, it's really hard because your hips are the ones driving all that motion, right? So you'll look very stiff if you just try to do the movements with just your legs and your feet.
Yeah, you're definitely a better dancer than me, which is so crazy. Like, I was in dance class for a long time and you weren't, and you're a way better dancer.
Well, my parents forced me as a kid to learn Spanish dance with my sister, which I hated. I mean, I at first I hated it, and then as we got older, it was like more fun. And then my parents would take us to like the parties with them, and we're still kids, and like I'd take my mom out to dance and my sister, and then other people there, you know. And as a little kid,
that's awesome,
right? And they'd be like, "Whoa, he could dance!" So that was pretty cool. That's you know what I mean?
That's cool.
And then as I got older, like I'm talking like later in high school and in college, when I was with other Spanish people my age, and the guys didn't know how to dance, but the girls did, and I could dance with them like the good way. It'd be like, oh wow, he could dance, you know. So that's cool.
Right.
And then now when I dance with you, when we go to parties and stuff, it's fun, right? Because I'll take you through my movements and everything, and then we have a good time.
Yep.
So I mean,
it's great to have that.
Watching my parents dance is a lot of fun because they've been dancing together for the better part of 30 years now.
Yeah.
So they're like one unit.
Definitely.
All right. So, babe. Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole. And keep it professional.
Yeah.
So now let's transition over to movies. Okay. So if you had a list, maybe like first of all,
geez, I have to come up with this stuff.
Okay, but do you have like one of your like top favorite all time movies? Like one of those movies that you're just like, oh, I got to watch that when it's on.
I like Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh, that's different. Okay, well, I would think you'd do like some like
The Notebook.
Yeah, or some type of romantic comedy or something.
The Notebook is a great movie, and I love it, but it's not something that I can watch over and over again because it's very draining.
Yeah, like emotionally draining.
Yeah, and I don't really like. I don't like rewatching movies. That's something I realized about myself. If I can rewatch a movie, it's a really good movie because usually if I just see it once. I don't like the part where, say, I watch a movie and there is the underdog or the person who's getting blamed for something that they didn't do.
Okay.
I can't stand that part. Like, I can stand it the first time because I want to see it, like, but I can't rewatch that person be defeated when
they're not. Like the triumph. You want to see the triumph, but you don't want to see that downfall.
I can't watch it again. It's just like, they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
So if the movie is like that, I can't watch it.
But that's Law-Abiding Citizen, so you don't like rewatching
Law-Abiding Citizen is... No, I'll rewatch that. Because that one's different because it's like he's getting them a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like he's being kind of like, For Life that we're watching now. Like to keep seeing his setbacks, it's killing me. Yeah. But I need to watch it once, but it's never something I can watch again. Law-Abiding Citizen is where he just keeps like getting them again. And I love like watching that.
So for anybody that's listening that's never watched that, it's a movie. The main actor is Gerard Butler, and he has a traumatic experience at the beginning of his life. He loses his wife and his daughter, and then the premise is when he goes to get justice for them, if you can't prove it, it didn't happen, right? And so no justice is served, and then he goes through this whole thing to get back at the system. Yeah. And that's basically the premise of the movie, but it's really good, and like Nicole's saying, he gets justice in his own way, and it's pretty badass. Yeah. And so it turns out to be a really good movie.
I really like those types of movies. Yeah. I really like it. I also like Liam Neeson's. Is it Neeson? Is that how you say his last name?
Liam Neeson. I think that's how you say his name.
I love his movies
like
too.
Taken and all those. Yeah.
And he has some other good ones. And those movies I can rewatch over and over again. And I do love romantic comedies, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of like a one-time thing for me. It's more of like, okay, I already saw you fall in love.
Yeah. Well, for me, like, there's a couple. Some of my favorite movies are romantic comedies. There's one with Gerard Butler, the one where he dies.
P.S. I Love You.
Yeah,
that's
that P.S. I Love You. It's sad, but it's definitely a romantic comedy. Yeah. I would characterize it as that because the funny stuff that happens, and the things that he sets up for them. But my favorite movie of all time, and I don't think Nicole's been able to watch it all the way through. I've tried, and she doesn't budge. Gladiator.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. It's one with Russell Crowe. If you haven't seen it, it's so good. He's a gladiator in the Roman Empire, and he used to be a general, like really high up there, but the emperor changes that doesn't like him, so he gets thrown to the wolves, and he comes out triumphant. So good. It's an underdog movie, so I'm surprised you don't like it.
Gosh, there's this other... I haven't seen a lot of movies. I've seen more movies with you than I have before. So
and we don't even watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, it's
but there's
crazy.
Movies you've shown me that I've really liked. Like even that Spanish fighting movie. Which one was that?
The Spanish fighting movie.
That guy who is the... he has like... He goes into the prison, they lock him up, and then he comes out, he disguises himself. He comes, something. Ooh,
this is good. This is like a trivia. So he goes into the prison.
So he used to be like this captain, this hero, the superhero for the town. And then they took I think they killed his wife, and they took his daughter. And they pretended that this other guy was his dad. They locked him up in prison. He comes out with a beard, and he trains another guy to fight for him.
Oh, Zorro.
Oh, yeah. That one's pretty
good. That's not how I would characterize the premise of the movie. But yeah, Zorro with
that one's not bad.
Antonio Banderas.
It was just something I would never ever watch.
That was really good. Well, Nicole had never watched before. She had never watched Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction with John Travolta and Samuel Jackson and
I've never seen Titanic. I haven't seen.
You've never seen? Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't watch a lot of movies, so for me,
oh my gosh,
for me it's kind of like. So my favorite series, How to Get Away with Murders, thriller, love it. Scandal, thriller, love it. Those are my types of things. What's the one with Jessica Biel that's really, really good? Freak. That one is amazing.
It's a TV series?
Yes. I don't know. It has Jessica Biel on it. It's on Netflix, and there's 2 seasons.
What's it about? What's the premise of it?
She kills a guy on the beach, but they don't know why she killed a guy on the beach.
Over My Dead Body? Is that?
No,
that's another one that you like.
Gosh, what? No, I don't. I never seen that before. Don't put words in my mouth. I don't know what this one is called because I watched it so long ago. But
another one that we're watching now that's really good is For Life, and that's on Hulu. And the premise of that is this guy goes to prison for basically something he didn't do. He becomes a lawyer while he's in prison, and then he's fighting his way out of prison himself. So that one's one that we're really stuck on
really good.
Right now, and we're actually trying to catch up. Another thing, and we don't normally...
The Sinner.
the sinner.
And it changes. So season 1 is a different story. And then season 2 is completely different characters, actors. Mm-hmm. So that's a really good one, too.
Another thing that we're watching, we don't really get into reality TV, but
oh my God.
90 Day Fiancé, Before the 90 Days, season 4... Ed.
It's the only one we've ever seen of any 90 days of anything.
Yeah, we've never watched that show series anyway. Ed and what's her name?
Rose.
Ed and Rose. They are the stars of the show.
They are.
Absolutely the stars of the show. I mean, you can't take your eyes off of it. And then they have, the other couples on there too that you feel bad for. But Ed and Rose, that's by far, I mean, we got sucked into that show and to the point where we caught up to where it is now live.
We're waiting for the next episode.
Which comes out today. So we're going to definitely watch that. And I've been watching The Last Dance about Michael Jordan and basketball. Okay, anyway, now, last thing about movies. Mm-hmm. Nicole, this is funny. Nicole had a falling out with a very famous actress. And when I say falling out, this famous actress didn't know that Nicole had a falling out with her. But Angelina Jolie.
Oh.
And Nicole couldn't watch for a while. She couldn't watch anything that had Angelina Jolie in it.
I still don't.
Because of the other day, there was a movie that we...
Magnificent or something?
Yeah, Maleficent. Oh. That we watched. She's like, okay, I'm over it now. But because of the whole Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston triangle there, that whole thing, I just thought it was funny, because...
Yeah, I felt like I was...
Nicole's obviously not involved in that situation at all. She's just like anybody else that watches it, from the tabloids and stuff.
I felt like I was betraying Jennifer Aniston if I watched Angelina Jolie's movie. And I was Team Jen, so I never watched it. I went to the movie theaters for all Jen's new movies. And I did Jen. See, we're friends.
Yep, you and Jen. Then, well, that's nice of you.
I just didn't watch anything of Angelina Jolie's. I don't know the politics behind everything that happened, and I know it's Brad's fault too. Trust me, I don't really watch his movies either. I'm just saying I'm Team Jen. So.
Oh man, if it's a good movie, I'll watch it. I don't care about what's going on in the background.
If stars cheat on each other, I take that seriously.
No, you absolutely.
Like I know of some country singers and stuff that would cheat on their wives. And I just wouldn't listen to their music anymore.
Well, there you go. Good for you.
I was just upset.
Stand in solidarity, babe. Just don't. Oh, what the heck happened there? We're sorry for the loud barking.
Lay down, honey. I think she just hit her head on the table.
And freaked herself out?
Yeah.
All right. So, Nicole, we didn't have an argument, but we had a discussion that I was a little angry about. Mm-hmm. And it was about your favorite food. Okay, so let's clear this up right now because Nicole, she put this quiz on Facebook. I got every question right except what favorite food. Because I put American.
Which is not American.
Well, you have said it so many times.
No,
I love American food's my favorite. I never have said that.
No.
So what's your favorite food?
Italian.
Why is it Italian?
Because I love lasagna and pastas.
Originally, why did you say you love Italian?
Because I love noodle dishes.
Because you love noodle dishes. That aren't necessarily Italian dishes themselves. It just has pasta in it.
Okay. I love pasta.
Okay. You love pasta. Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you mostly like about pasta?
The noodles.
Okay. So, would you consider
But I don't like mac and cheese as much as I like lasagna.
Or like pasta salad.
No, it doesn't matter, Victor.
Exactly.
No, it's not American food. I never eat at an American food place.
Okay, but your mom, what do they cook?
She cooks lasagna and stuff.
She cooks American food. What I'm saying is most of the time when we eat at your parents' house and when you've been growing up, 9 times out of 10 what you've eaten is American food. And so when you go home and you eat a home-style cooked meal and you're like, ooh, I love American food. And I've heard you say, oh, American food's my favorite.
I don't like Thanksgiving dinner food, so that's called American food. And I don't like that.
I would say Nicole's favorite food is whatever she's feeling at the time that she says it. Because it made me mad because I did this quiz and I got one thing wrong, right? Well, and then I was like, well, this is not fair because I've definitely heard her say that.
I love like all foods though, so it's it was very difficult for me to choose which one to pick, and I didn't even have Chinese on the list, and I love Chinese food. So I don't really know what my favorite food is, but it's noodles. So Chinese lo mein has noodles too.
So is that Italian food?
No.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm saying if I could eat lasagna and masticelli.
I'm obviously very stuck on this quiz. So next time you do a quiz, maybe put favorite dish or something.
Okay.
You know, because what's your favorite dish?
My best friend only got 4 out of 10 right on that, and she was arguing all of them with me. She called me up and she's like, this and this and this. I was like, no, Mariah, that is not right. And she was mad about the food one too. Yeah. But she didn't put American. She put something else.
Yeah, it's a common denominator.
I don't know what she put.
All right, so you've been reading a lot lately. You have a Kindle. You got your mom a Kindle. Mm-hmm. What's your current book? What's the current book that you've been reading as of late? Like, I've been trying to get helping my anxiety, and I had some people on actually social media that reached out to me and said that what helped with them was learning about the subconscious mind. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so I started reading that on my Kindle, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, which there is a lot of spelling errors in that book. I don't know if it wasn't proofread, but I actually highlight them all on my Kindle because it bugs me so much.
Like what? Like what was misspelled?
Everything. Like, words are misspelled, sentences are incomplete. I've Googled it to see, because the book is so powerful and it's so good, it just isn't proofread.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's such a great book, but I'm like, how did it get through to this? Because at first I thought I was losing my mind. You can look through my Kindle and you'll see, like, simple things just spelt wrong. Like, even the will be TEH, or just weird things like that. Right. And it's just confusing to me. But it's a very, very good book, and I want to reread it again already because there's so much information in there.
You already finished it?
Well, I'm got 10 pages left.
That's crazy.
It's a really good book to read before you go to bed because it talks about how, which I've been implementing a lot of these things in my life, and I think they've definitely helped. It's kind of where I've always been the person who did the opposite of this. I would think the worst, and I would expect the worst, and prepare for the worst, actually, what I would do. I'd prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and it was something that would always keep me, like, in the middle, so that way something couldn't catch me off guard, because I feel like people that are super optimistic are always let down, but really, now I think what I want to happen and kind of put it out into the universe. And I mean, it's still all about God and things like that.
Yep.
But if you think that, then, things will start to line up and you'll start to see things differently and things will connect. And honestly, a lot of things have connected for me since then. Even just realizing if I think I have anxiety, if I think I'm sick, if I think I'm going to get sick, or if say something triggers me, it's going to keep happening because it's in my mind that triggers me.
You can manifest it into reality.
Exactly. You can manifest yourself into having a heart attack. You can manifest yourself into, they talk about people who get into car accidents. They go to psychics, they say they're going to die on this day, and they psych themselves out so much they do die on that day, but it has nothing to do with, it's all in your mind.
Yep.
And so I just realized how powerful our mind is, and it has helped me so much with my anxiety because since I started reading that book, I haven't had any panic attacks in the night. I think I might have had 1 or 2, but I didn't read it that night. But it was it's helped me tremendously. Before that, I was having them every single night. And so it's just go to bed and say, I'm not going to have a panic attack tonight. I am healthy. I am, I feel good. I don't have anxiety. I can control these things. Or manifest what you want to happen out of your relationship. Anything.
Yeah.
And so this book is brilliant. It also talks about how if you have enemies, you don't want to wish ill upon your enemies. Wish them happiness because that's going to come full circle in you. If you hold bitterness in about somebody else that you can't control, that bitterness is going to eat you up. Mm-hmm. So it's almost just wish well on everybody, and you're just going to be such a better, happier person.
And there is a great documentary for that too. I don't know if you've seen it, Nicole, but it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on. It's called The Secret.
No, I haven't.
And The Secret kind of talks about that, and it really pushes home the idea of making a dream board. Mm-hmm. Make the dream board of the house that you want, or the car that you want, or the life that you want, the farmhouse, all that stuff. And you manifest those things into reality. And I think even Jim Carrey makes an appearance on there talking about how when he was an up-and-coming actor or up and coming comedian, he wrote a check to himself for $1 million when he had nothing, right? And, he said, this is going to be me in the future. And sure enough, I don't know if it was months or a year or whatever, how long after he did that, he got his first paycheck that was $1 million in a check. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like how that works.
Yeah, I've never been into like that type of thing or believed in it. And now that I've like implemented it in my life, and even like, so I was a person where if I'm playing you in Battleship and you're kicking my butt, I'd be like, well, there's no freaking way I'm going to beat him. I'm just mad. And now I'm like, there's a way I can beat him. Like, I can still come back.
I will win. Yeah.
Or, I'm going to win. Yeah. Like, I know I'm going to win. And then it'll happen. And it's like, oh, my gosh, did that happen? Little things like that. It's such a cool, just like a different outlook. If anything, it's helping me live a happier life. Whether it's working or not, it's believed in my mind. And whatever you believe is what you will become and what you will see.
And it'll give you a constant positive outlook on things. Because let's say in that same game, you keep saying you're going to win and you lose. You're like, oh, well, that's fine. I lost this time, but that means I'm going to win next time. You know what I mean? Like it's a constant process. You don't just shut it off when something doesn't go your way.
Oh, yeah,
it's can't. Like, it didn't go my way this time, so that next time it'll be better. Right. And then that way you just keep pushing yourself forward over and over and over again. Yeah. So that's definitely, because that's how you were at the beginning of our relationship, is like what you were talking about, the exact opposite. Like, I'm not going to get my hopes up because it's not going to be great.
Exactly.
And it's just like, well, you could still be happy. You know what I mean? You could still I would never enjoy the process.
Myself to be happy because I thought that was like being conceited, or that was being like
too optimistic.
Like, don't get too excited. Yeah. Like, even in opportunities, I'm just like, don't get too excited. Because then I wouldn't want to come down from. I was so scared of the crash if it didn't happen. And things like that. But yeah, so I just kind of changed my mindset a little bit. That book helps. And I think it's very easy to forget. Like, I read it. I'm almost done with it. And I could easily go back to my old ways.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, watch it whenever I go to work, whenever you get a chance. Watch The Secret on Netflix, or I think it's still up there. If you can't find it there, find it somewhere else. And it's good. You'll be like, oh, wow, because people are telling their stories on how it helped them.
And things even as such as small social media. I would obsess about getting a perfect picture. Would I not? Right?
Yeah,
like sometimes
it
was like, Vic, we got to get a good picture.
To the point of that it turns into a negative thing because trying to get the perfect picture was such a pain in the butt.
Yeah. And so now it's like, okay, just snap a couple pictures. This is who we are. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to compete with anybody. Like, our relationship's great. Like, I love her. I don't need to prove it to anyone and stuff like that. And so I think I've seen it just helps so much because you can be in competition all day with yourself.
Yeah, it's toxic.
And it's hard. And I know that a lot of people go through that who are influencers or who feel the pressure of like posting the perfect things. And now I just like, oh my God, my page kind of looks like crap, but I mean, because I have like pickled eggs, I have like weird crap on there, but it doesn't bug me.
It's you.
Like before it would bug me, and now I'm like, I'm unbothered. So.
Yeah. And it actually, it's a better representation of who you are.
Yeah.
Right? You're weird, quirky, funny, you're in a loving relationship, and that's all characterized right there on your page.
And I think like bringing it back to the farm life is, a lot of people would be like, oh my God, that's what she wants to do with her life. Like, let's be honest, it's kind of weird. But you know what? That's how I find purpose, and that's what makes me happy. And I don't care what it like. I don't care. I don't need to have the nicest house, the nicest nursery, the biggest truck. I mean, I don't need that stuff. Could I have it? Probably. But do I need it to like make myself feel valid? No. And like, I love that. I want to teach that to my kids too, because I think that's where you find your freedom and your. Oh my God, I feel purpose. So good. Yeah. Like, I even like, we're looking at campers kind of, and there's like this really nice camper, and then there's this like cute little one.
Vintage.
I'm like, oh my God, I picked that one. Like, I don't need to show off for anybody. And I think that's like a really good feeling. And that's also because of where I come from and how I was raised. But you can change your mindset too, because I know a lot of people from around here need to have the biggest trucks, need to have the biggest farm, need to have the biggest house. I mean, there's a couple $1 million houses around here, and it's all like they're competing with their friends, and that's cool. Like, wealth attracts wealth. I read in the book, like, if you think you're going to be wealthy, you're going to be wealthy. But I think of wealth. When I think of wealth, I think of not money and materialistic things. I think of happiness, and I think of being surrounded by people's lives I'm improving and the animals I'm helping, and being around my family. So you will get whatever your wealth is, you'll attract it. So
Absolutely.
If that's actual dollar bills, you'll get dollar bills. But
well, and which have shown time and time again, money does not equal happiness.
Yeah.
So
definitely it can be comforting for some things, for sure.
I think after a certain, I think it's
80,
like after
000.
80,000 or so, that there's no difference between 80 and 200, 300 because...
Even our mindset for our wedding.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, we're going to have this big grand event, and then COVID happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And it's still all up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm like terrified of, losing deposits and things like that. But also, I'm like, dude, I'm fine with something smaller and intimate. And like before, that wasn't an option. So I know that I am changing my mindset on things, and like having the biggest, grandest wedding, it isn't what I need to feel fulfilled.
Absolutely. So then I got a Spanish word of the day for you, babe. Okay. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
So easy, anybody can get it.
Shut up.
The Spanish word of the day is contento. Or
I feel
contenta.
I feel like I know this one.
Contento or contenta?
Content.
Yeah, that's actually... what is content?
At peace.
It's happy.
Happy.
Yeah, so contento.
Okay, I knew that one. I learned that one in Spanish class.
Yeah. That's you got that. So, I mean, that's pretty much...
I mean, it means happy. So
it does mean happy, but it was like right, because I think that's probably where you guys got content from.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Probably.
It's probably based in Latin, which, So that's good. So what do you got for Spanish word of the day for it? Or not Spanish word. What do you have for the weird or
Well, this one's pretty simple, but it was, I'm going to read exactly what the...
So it was from a listener.
Yep.
It was a listener suggested this Spanish
word.
But
we were talking about it earlier today, so it's
weird.
Perfect. Or...
normal.
Okay, this is... I think I may be the weird one, ? I make sure there is absolutely no remnants of food at all in the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher. I find if I don't, then they just don't get clean. But I watch many people just put straight up dirty dishes in the dishwasher. So I do put straight up dirty dishes in the dishwasher. We just got a dishwasher. We probably told you that.
We are new. Well, we were just talking about it today. How are we living without a dishwasher before?
Like for 27
2 years.
I mean, 27 years I didn't have a dishwasher.
Well, in this house, 2 years, doing everything by hand. And
we would cook like
nothing
food,
bad, but
so we had like 4 times we had to do dishes a day.
Yeah, exactly. But so we find ourselves in that situation. Sometimes we rinse them off a little bit. Other times we just throw it with everything that's on there. But then it's also a hit and miss, right? You're like, fingers crossed that everything gets cleaned off of there, right? Because if it's not for my doing.
There are the people that rinse everything off, and that's great. Because, I mean, it's great, but it isn't great. Because I saw a commercial that we're wasting, like, so much water.
I was going to say, it would defeat, it sounds, okay, I don't want to say defeats the purpose.
The Cascade commercial says that it's useless because their soap is really good, and you're wasting like 80 million gallons a year.
Yeah, so the reason a lot of people use dishwashers, not only is it very convenient, but you also save water using the dishwasher. So how backwards is it if you rinse off every dish and every plate to then put it in the dishwasher? I mean, you might as well wash it at that point, but I don't know.
But at the same time, it's just people's preferences.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just like lazy, and I'm so loving the dishwasher life that I'm just like, if it doesn't come off, I'll just run it again. I'll just leave that one in there. Or like today I had to wash something because we didn't know. Okay, so we started out I think as like dishwasher soap snobs because we went right away for a Cascade, and I guess Cascade's pretty good.
Cascade, the more expensive pouches.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they come in these little bags, and like Walmart's out of them, and we have no other place to get them. So then we had to switch to like this cheaper brand.
It's like a chalky one that when you put it in, sometimes it'll even break.
I was like, what is this? It's like leaving a film. I'm like, we cannot. I said, I'm going to wash them by hand if this is what we're going through. But yeah, we started with like the best, and now we're stuck with like something that's not great. And so now it's it's really pretty much miss if we don't rinse them off.
We do need a Cascade to be content with this.
This is not Cascade. You should sponsor us.
All right, so we're going to go into our reviews because you guys are the best, and without you guys, there is no us, so I will take it away first.
Okay.
Que Bien by EP68. I don't know what that name is, but thank you. 5 stars. Is it weird or normal that I feel like I'm friends with Nicole and Victor after listening to their podcasts? During this time of pandemonium, it's nice to have a light, easy, refreshing podcast to unwind with. I've been a fan of both Nicole and Victor since Big Brother and really enjoyed watching them on The Amazing Race. Their lightheartedness and positivity radiates through the headphones. Both Nicole and Victor, as well as their guests, are totally relatable and very entertaining. Thank you for such a great podcast, Nicole and Victor, and I wish you nothing but continued success in your careers, relationship, and life. P.S. Spanish word of this review, perfecto.
I love, that's one of my favorite reviews ever. Good thing you read it because I didn't know what that pandemonium word was. Okay, so this one is by Carrie61 called My Favorite Podcast, 5 stars.
Woo woo.
Thank you guys so much for doing this podcast. I loved watching you both on Big Brother. I have been listening since episode 1, and this is my favorite podcast. I look forward to a new episode each week. Nicole is so sweet and funny, and Victor is so inquisitive and thoughtful. You are so great together, and I love getting to spend part of my week with you both. Thank you, Carrie. That was sweet.
Yeah, that was very sweet. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. You can listen to this podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can always go to www.cococalientepodcast.com. You can listen there and you can check out our merchandise. Don't forget to follow us at Coco Caliente Podcast on Instagram and at Coco Caliente Pod on Twitter. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.